Welcome to Module 2 of English 240. Starting today, we are transitioning from Module 1, in which we concentrate on the genre of drama, to Module 2, in which we will concentrate on the genre of fiction. This is only our second typical week together in creative writing. So in this video, I will first talk a bit about that transition from drama to fiction, and second, remind you about the patterns you will see repeated in one of our typical weeks. So, first, the bit about our transition from drama to fiction. As a reminder, the reason that drama was the first genre of creative writing we explored in English 240 this summer is that it's the one in which it is easiest to see the proper proportion of scenes in which we show our stories to our audiences to summaries in which we tell our stories to our audiences. Remember, my advice to all of you aspiring authors is to show more, tell less. This principle, showing more in scenes and telling less in summaries, applies not only to drama, but also to fiction, to nonfiction, and to poetry. And so does a lot of what you learn from Module 1 mini lessons, such as do be dramatic, do make a scene. An understanding of how to make a scene will help us not only when we write drama, but also when we write fiction, nonfiction, or poetry. Because of the differences in the formatting of those four genres of creative writing we're experimenting with this semester, those scenes will look different in fiction, nonfiction, and poetry than they do in drama. But if you look for them, you will find them in all the genres, and particularly in the genre of fiction, which we're concentrating on now in Module 2. That's why, after first watching or reading the mini lesson titled Making a Scene in Fiction, you'll be reading Hills Like White Elephants by Ernest Hemingway. Although it is formatted as a piece of prose fiction, it is structured similarly to a piece of drama. And in the next mini lesson after that, titled Let's Talk About Dialogue, we'll continue to develop our understanding of that essential element, which will help you to make a scene in any of the four genres of creative writing. That's one of the reasons I assigned two texts by Susan Glassfell at the start of English 240, her play Trifles in Module 1, and her short story A Jury of Her Peers in Module 2. These exceptional examples of one author writing one story in two different genres of creative writing present a pretty perfect opportunity to compare and contrast how dialogue is formatted in both drama and fiction. So, second, the reminder about the patterns you will see repeated in our typical weeks together in English 240. In these typical weeks, you have a first set of assignments due on Mondays and a second set of assignments due on Thursdays. Mondays are the due dates for three types of assignments that we will complete for all the remaining modules devoted to genres of creative writing. As a reminder, those three types of assignments are called Developing Understandings, Reading Responses, and Writing Exercises. And their numbers will correspond to the number of the module we're working our ways through. Because this is Module 2, this Monday, the first set of assignments you have to do is Developing Understanding 2, Reading Response 2, and Writing Exercise 2. This pattern will repeat itself in Module 3, which will be about the genre of nonfiction, and in Module 4, which will be about poetry. In both those modules, you'll similarly have Developing Understandings, Reading Responses, and Writing Exercises due on Mondays. Thursdays are the due dates for two types of more significant assignments. The first type of assignment will be the shorter minor work in the genre of creative writing that we are covering in depth in that module. Again, their numbers will correspond to the number of the module we're in. For example, at the end of Module 2, you'll be writing Minor Work 2, a short story of your own. Again, this pattern will repeat itself at the ends of Module 3, when you will write a short creative nonfiction of your own for Minor Work 3, and Module 4, when you will write a short poem of your own for Minor Work 4. And again, both those minor works will have their official due dates on Thursdays. On only one of the next 3 Thursdays, you will have a second type of assignment due, your writer's workshop piece, which will be the first draft of the one longer major work you will be writing in the genre of your choice this summer. That first draft of Major Work 1 will be workshopped during a specific week of the class that was scheduled during our online orientation. So, depending on the group you were sorted into back then, your writer's workshop piece will either be due next Thursday, July 3rd, on Thursday, July 10th, or on Thursday, July 17th. If you have forgotten which writer's workshop group you're in, you can either reread the announcement I sent out on June 19th, or consult the list titled Groups and Dates for our writer's workshop this summer at the bottom of Module 0. So all of those assignments and their respective due dates are parts of our typical pattern for almost all of our weeks in creative writing. Speaking of repeating patterns, I'll end this video the same way I end most of my communications with you. As always, if you have questions about our creative writing class, please feel free to email me at cgreen@cerritos.edu or send a message to my inbox on Canvas. In the meantime, I hope you have a great time experimenting with writing fiction in Module 2.